legal departments is on an incredible trajectory. Our corporate pro bono project, in partnership with the Association of Corporate Counsel, has worked with more than 200 legal departments in the past 2 years. And every day, literally every day, we get requests and expressions of interest from new departments. It's amazing to see how quickly in-house culture is being transformed. It's still in its nascent period, but it's incredibly heartening to see what's happening. And what I also think is wonderful is that existing in-house programs, even those programs at the companies that have been most directly and profoundly affected by the economic crisis, financial services firms, the auto companies, not only is pro bono stable, but in many of those departments, pro bono is growing and expanding, which I think is wonderful and extraordinary. All of this is the good news. We are the good news, but we can't rest on our laurels. We have a unique opportunity to increase and strengthen pro bono, to use it to address the root causes of poverty and inequality, to make it sustained and sustainable through good times and bad, and to make every pro bono hour and engagement meaningful and to make it count. Not only can we do this now, we have to. We owe it to the clients. We owe it to the people who are taking the time for pro bono. We owe it really to our countries in general, because in times of distress and instability, equality and the rule of law are more important than ever. Two words have dominated the U.S. and particularly its political landscape over the past 2 years: change and hope. I like those words. Without being unduly partisan, I like the person who talks about those words. I know that won't come as a surprise to those of you who know me. But I think that those words and those concepts are nonpartisan. I think regardless of what party you're affiliated with or what political ideology you embrace, when we look around us, we know that change is critical and hope is something we can't afford to lose. So let's talk about change first. There are really two kinds of change. I think all of us feel as though we're going through a great deal of change. We're embattled by change. We're over our heads in change. We may be sick of change. But that's change that's forced upon us by external forces that we can't control. We can't ignore that. We at the Pro Bono Institute like to think of ourselves as pragmatic idealists. We have to accept the world as it is. All of you do in your work. We could wish for a better time or a different time, but we have to take the world on its own terms right now. So we have to deal with the change that's forced upon us, and we have to accept that. But there is a second kind of change, as embodied in the words and actions of our new president, and that is the change that we create, the change that we make. And that change is powerful. That change, I think, allows us to free ourselves up and to accomplish things that we perhaps in better times never dreamed that we could accomplish. We can take advantage of the instability and the exigencies of our time to profoundly change pro bono for the better. I want to give you, and I think we have to do this in thousands of ways. And one of the things for me that is so wonderful about this seminar is that we bring together hundreds of smart, creative, committed people with different experiences and different perspectives, and we just put you together in a room, and what comes out of that is extraordinary. Every year, in terms of new ideas and new approaches and critical thinking and extraordinary creativity and innovation. You know, as Bob said, we started this this event 19 years ago with 12 people in a room for 2 hours. And we wondered if we could fill those 2 hours. And when you look at the complexity and sophistication of what people are talking about now, and when we develop sessions and think about topics and ideas, those are coming from you. They're not coming from us, they're coming from you. So think about what this group could do if it focused on change and enhancement in pro bono. It really is extraordinary. So this is one example I want to give, and it has been the subject already of a lot of discussion at the conference. It is only one example, but I think it signals what we might be able to do. One thing that has come out of the economic downturn for law firms is the issue of excess capacity of associates and incoming new associates who will be joining the firm, who would be ordinarily joining the firm in September of 2009. There are several firms that have announced the creation of what they refer to as pro bono fellowships. And this is in the works or under discussion in many, many, many firms. The idea is that the firm, because they know that they can't keep those associates busy, but want to, are anticipating an uptick in work and want to keep those associates that they've invested time and energy into recruiting and interviewing and bringing into the firm. Firms are coming up with the idea of detailing those associates for periods of 4 months to a year. This is not so different for those of you who have experience with it, with rotation programs, or what in New York are called externship programs, where there are quite a few secondments. But it's a different potentially group of people. It's a larger group of people. In some cases, as I mentioned, it may be people who have not yet actually set foot in the firm as firms try to figure out what to do with very large associate classes that they decided on 2 years ago in a very different economic environment. So firms are looking at this and beginning to undertake this. And we've been talking to a great many firms on a one-off confidential basis about this, because there are a number of very complex issues in figuring out how to make this program work. If this is done well and carefully, and with the institutional support of law firms and public interest groups, the impact at a time of reduced resources and greater need could be extraordinary. It could be extraordinary. But there are, in fact, a great number of issues that have to be resolved and dealt with on the firm side, including HR issues and all kinds of other things, and on the public interest side, where issues like space, for example, because we're talking not about 1 or 2 people, we're talking about 5, 10, 15 or more people who might be coming for a year. Space, having the experienced staff who can supervise these folks, the fact that the stipend that these people are being paid is probably more than the salary of the very experienced person whom the public interest group just riffed. So there are emotional and, if you will, political issues around that. I think there are solutions to these problems. I think we have to solve them working together as a community. And I think we have to focus. We have to be, again, real world. We have to look at those obstacles and be realistic about them, but figure out a way around them. We have to be flexible, and we have to be open. Because even though this will not be easy, in the short term, we will serve clients. We will be able to create projects. We will be able to meet need that we couldn't otherwise meet. And we can't lose that opportunity. This is hopefully a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Let's hope we don't ever have a crisis of this extent in the law firm community and in our overall communities again. But it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. opportunity. And we need to let down our guard. We need to trust each other. We need to honestly communicate this. And we need to think about how to do this on a wholesale rather than a retail level. We need to think about how to do this in significant numbers and make it work.